back to my YouTube tutorial. This is ABM Graphics. Yes, in this video we are going to learn how to design a Ludu wallpaper. Let's say you want to customize a Ludu for a play with your friends, with your family and those things, but you wish that your pictures or anybody picture that you wish to appear on that particular Ludu without a general Ludu wallpaper. How do you do that in Photoshop? Or you have a client and the client asks you to design a Ludu game listing for him or her. How do you do that? So let's just go to Photoshop and let's get it done. So first of all, I am moving my mouse to my Photoshop over here, and that is what I have it here. So depending on the size you want to do, I want to do a size which is very bigger so that everyone can see everything on it and they can enjoy it. So I'm just going to click on the create new document, where I'm going to create my new document for this particular distance. On this particular distance, I'm going to name it Ludu Game. Okay, Ludu Game. Yes, on this particular, the sizes I'm going to make it 21.5 by 21.5. okay, yes, and that's 16-bit. That will be okay for me, but I'm just going to make it 8-bit because I want my tutorial to go faster. And in this tutorial, I may fast forward some of the videos so that I won't get a long video on this particular tutorial. So I'm going to just go click yes, so that I can have it there. So this is 21.5 by 21.5 in square. That is a square distance. So the next thing again I have to do, I'm going to pick a rectangular tool over here, then I'll hold shift so that I'll draw a perfect square, just like that. Okay, yes. So when I draw a perfect square like this, what I need to do over here is that I'm going to make a stroke of black, and the stroke should be 20, just like this. So when I have a stroke of 20 over here like this, I'll be okay for that. And the next thing again I have to do is to duplicate this particular stroke, and then I'm going to change the size over here. I'm going to change the size to different size. So over here I'm going to change the size to what? To 4 inches by 4 inches, just like that. That will be okay for me. Yes. And then on this particular distance, I'm going to make this the size of 16.5 inches, 16.5 inches by 16.5 0.5 inches, and that will be okay for me. Then I can have it just like that. You get that? Yes. So the next thing again I have to do, this is just a simple method on how to design a very simple without any stressing yourself. You get that? Yes. So the next thing again I have to do on this particular distance, I'm going to come to the properties so that I can make my distance, the edges of that particular distance to be curved, just like that. You get that? So I'm just going to make it curved, just like that. I love it that way. Yes. And then the next thing again I have to do is to duplicate one of them. So I'm just going to duplicate the smaller one, which is this one, the sected one. So I'm going to duplicate it, and when I duplicate it, what do I have to do? I'm going to give it a color, and then the color, I'm going to start with the color of let me say red. Will be okay for me. And when I have it red, just like that, what I need to do over here is to hold shift alternate so that I can transform my distance so that it should be well for me. Then when I transform it that way, I'm going to put it somewhere here at the edge here. It should be at the edge here, and then I will zoom out my work, and then I'll transform it a little bit until it reaches the tip of this smaller one, which is the 4x4. You get that at the tip here. Yes, so that I can be okay with that. So let me see how my distance has been done over here. So let me check on the distance. Let me click enter. So I think this is the tip of the distance, so that one will be okay for me. So I'm going to zoom out to see how the work has done already. So I'm going to come somewhere here and then check whether the tip has been made. So I'm going to move it a little bit here. That will be okay for me. And then over this particular place, I'm going to check that one, and I'll move that one to the end. That will be okay for me again. And then I'll check over here. I think that one too is okay. No, it's not okay. So I'm going to move it a little bit. Sorry, I'm going to make it a little bit here. Let me zoom out my work so that you can see it clearly this way. And this one should come here. So this one is in line. This way too is in line. You get that? Yes. Sorry. I just want it to be in line. This one should line, this one should also be in line, and do this way will be okay for me. You get that? Yes. And then when I have it just like that, what I need to do is that I'm going to put it over here. Then I'll right click and do the clipping mask in, so that I can have my edges over here just like that. You get that? Yes. And then the next thing again I have to do is to duplicate that one too, and then I'll right click and create a clipping mask, and that one I'll move it to this side. Yes, and that one should also be in line. And then another one I have to do is that I'm going to duplicate another one, then I'll move it to somewhere here, and that one should be in line. And the next thing again I have to do is to duplicate it to this particular right downside, and that will be okay for me. And that is what I have. And then these ones I'm just going to do the same thing to it. This one too, I'm going to do the same thing to it, and that ends the problem. You get that? Yes. And the next thing again I have to do over here is that I'm going to put up that particular square distance that is over there. You get that? Yes. So for that one, this one should be 6, and this one should be 6, and this one should be 6. You get that? So I'm just going to pick my tool over here, which is rectangular tool. Then when I pick the rectangular tool over there, I'm just going to have something like this over there, and that will be okay for me. And then when I have something like that over there, I'm going to make a stroke of 20, and that will be okay for me. I want everything, the stroke of 20 to be appear all the distance. You get that? Yes. And that will be okay. And then I'm going to duplicate it to this side, and I will duplicate this one to this side. You get that? And then I will zoom out my work. When I zoom out my work, what I need to do is to let it match, and this one should also match with this one. Shouldn't go out, should match. Okay, so this one should match with this one, and this one should match with this one, and that's right. And then what I need to do over here is that I am just going to pick all of them, then I will transform it on top so that it will match with the top too. You get that? Yes. And when I had that, I'm going to hold shift alternate, and then I'll do what? I'll drag it, and then that one too should match with this particular line, and this particular line should go with this particular line over here. You get that? Yes. So that I'll have it beautiful. And then that is how I'm going to have it over there, and then I'll drag it again so that I'll have it just like that. And then what I need to do is to do it manually, moving this one to this particular edge. It's okay. And then this one, that one too should be in line with this one, and that'll be okay. And then I can have it just like that. Okay. So the next thing again I have to do is to duplicate that one, and then when I duplicate, I'm just going to move that one to the down, just like that, and that one should match with this one, and that'll be okay. And then I'll do another one, and I'll move that one to the down again, just like that, and that will be okay. So we have 1 2 3 11, what 11, another 3 again. And as you can see, this particular it may not enter, so that for us to get it enter, we have to make some changes to our distance. So what we need to do is to pick up all that, just like that, and then duplicate that one too, and that one will move it. That one will just move it. Let me just use the mouse and move it over there, just like that. So it means that we have our distance maybe too big. You get that? Yes. And then we can have it just like that over there. Yes, that is cool. So we now have something like this over here. You get that? Yes. And that one goes out of the box. You get that? So don't worry. So what we need to do over here is that I'm just going to select all, and then I'll group it, and when I grouped it, I'm going to call it red, okay, red. That will be okay for me. So the next thing again I have to do over here is that I'm just going to hold shift alternate, and then okay, you can hold shift alternate when you are using 17 down, but when you are using 18 19, you have to hold alternate to transform it the best, okay, to have a best transformation. Okay, then you can have it just like that, and then you can move it to the top. Another thing, you have to move it again, then you can have it just like that, And the next thing again, you have to move it. Then you can have it just like that, and you can move it to the top so that you can have this one should match with the down, and the top one too should match with the top over here. You get that? Yes. And then when you have something like that, the next thing again you have to do, or you have to check on this particular distance, is that as this one is okay, now what you need to do over here is that you have to make some changes to this particular distance. So this particular distance, let's say is 4 by 4, so let's use 2 by 2. No, I think 2 by 2 is very small, so let's just hold our shift alternate and then move it a little bit so that it will match with this particular distance over here. So you can decide to come and pick, you can come and select this one and then match and use a guideline to match up with these things. You get that? And then you do your matching. Okay, so we can now have it just like that. Then you match up with that. Very simple. Match it up very well. Yes, so I think this one is okay, so you can have it just like that. You get that? Yes. And this particular distance should be at the sector, so you can click Control A to deselect all, and click on this particular distance, and then click on this particular distance, so it's in the what? It's in the sector form. So if this one is in the sector form, then you click G to deselect it. Then you have to lock that one there so that you won't touch it again. You get that? Yes. So the next thing again you have to do over here is that on this particular distance, you have to let it match with this. Try and let it match with this. Okay, this one should match with this, just like that. So you can zoom out and then let the matching be correct, so that you don't have one side being different and one side too also being different. So you can have it just like that. Okay, that will be okay. Yes. And then the next thing again you have to do over here is that when these things are match up, then you do the same thing to this particular area, and that one should match up with this one, and that's cool. Then you can have it just like that. You get that? Yes. And then the next thing again you have to do over here is that as far as this one is in the sector, don't mind it, just leave it there. And then what you need to do is to start this one supposed to be red, and this one too. So I'm just going to select those who are good, those boxes that are supposed to be red, and then you do what? You come to your properties and then change it to red, and that's cool. So you can have it just like that. And then the next thing again you have to do is to copy all these boxes to this side, to that side, to this side. Okay, before you change the colors of this particular distance. So on this is the step. On the next thing, I'm going to fast forward the video so that I can put it here and here and here, so that we can go to the another tutorial on how to insert the pictures and those things. Yes, in this end we have come to the arrangement which looks so nice for us. it's just about dragging and dragging before and then you get the best of that. You get that. So you can check through. If they are not in line, you have to make sure that it's in line and it looks so beautiful for you. You get that here. So the next thing again we have to do over here is that I can see that we have make some changes to it. Then what we need to do is to give out the colors. So this particular place should be blue. So you can also make some changes if you have a if you have your customized, everything is customized, you can make those changes. You can also change it by the colors that you wish to use without any problem. You get that? Yes. And then the last one should be blue, and then sorry, it should be green rather. So you can have a green over here, somehow greenish, and then you can have it just like that. And then the next thing again you have to do over here is that you have to make some changes to this particular colors over here so that it will match with your distance without any problem. Your properties, then you come and select that particular blue, this that particular green. I don't know why I like green these days like that, blue like that. So you can have something like this, like yes. So you just have to select all, and then you make those changes to it that look that perfectly looks for your this thing without any big problem. Then you now come to my favorite color, which is blue. I don't know why I like it, but I just like blue. You get that? Yes. And then you make changes to that particular blue too, and then you have done the almost 70% of that, and then you are good to go. So that is what we have right now. So the next thing again we have to do over here is that I'm just going to select all of them just like that, and then I'm just grouped all in one, and then I'll just call it square. That will be okay. Square. You can also mix any distance to it. Square. That will be okay. And then the next thing again I have to do all this. I'm going to do what? I'm going to group it in one. Then I'll call it the background, the BG. That will be okay for me. There will be another background, but I just want to call this one background. Let's call it background 2, and that will be a nice. So and then I'm just going to do what? I'm just going to lock it. Then I can lock this one so that I can move it. It can never move. You get that? So that one you have finished with everything just like that. So the next thing again I'm going to do is to pick a tool over here. Then I'm going to just going to put something like this over there, not that big, too big, and then that will be okay for me. And then all that on this one should be white, and that will be okay. So the next thing again I have to go to my file. Then I'll come to place a link, and on that particular distance I'll make this to this particular distance, so that I'm just going to pick any color for any picture for that. So I'm going to use one of my picture, and that will be okay for me. And then I'm going to do what? I'm going to transform it a little bit. And then on the pictures, some of them you have to know how to place it. This is how this particular I have to face this way. For the red, you have to face me. You get that? Yes, that is how it will look like. So I'm just going to transform it a little bit, and that will be okay for me. And this way, okay. And then on that one, I'm going to duplicate that one too, and then that one I'm going to place it somewhere here. Yes, so somewhere here will be okay for me. And that one, the distance, the picture should face this side. It should face this side. So I'm just going to delete this picture, and then I'm going to put in one picture to let me put in the princess there, and then that will be okay for that. So let's wait for it to just come up. Yes, and that will be okay. So I'm just going to transform it. Then I'll rotate it 90 clockwise so that it will face this way, and that will be okay over there too. You get that? Yes, and that will be okay. And then I'm going to rasterize it so that it will have to take my time when processing. So that I'll have it just like that, and I'll zoom it out, and that will be a nice thing for that. And then the next thing again I have to do is to duplicate that one too. Yes, Control J to duplicate. Then I'll move that one to this particular place, and that'll be okay. And the next thing again I have to do, the picture supposed to do what? It's supposed to go that way. It's supposed to be this side, face that way. So I'm just going to import in another image. Let me use this particular image over here, and then I'm just going to put it somewhere here, and then I'm just going to do it this way and that way, and that'll be okay. Then I'll place it somewhere here, and then I'm just going to transform it a little bit so that it will face up this particular place, just like that. And then I'll right click and do what, and create a clipper mask in, just like that. You get that, and that will be beautiful. Then I'm just going to move it somewhere here, and then I'll transform it a little bit again so that it will appear more boldly over there, and that will be okay. And then I'm going to do another one by duplicating this particular one, and then I'm going to move it to this particular area, that will be okay. And then that one, the image supposed to face which side, supposed to face this side. Okay, so I'm just going to go there, and then I'll pick any kind of image. Let me see this big image. Let me pick this particular image, and then that image will be here. That's ABM graphics. Yes, and there is 3D of my works. Yes, so I'm just going to pick up this particular distance, and I'll rasterize that one. Then I'll do what, I'll create a clipper mask in, and then I'm just going to do what, transform it a little bit so that it can face this particular area without any much problem, and every information should appear so that anyone who is playing the game will know that there is ABM graphics who do that. Yes, so that I can have it just like that over there, and then that makes it so beautiful. You get that? Yes. So the next thing again I have to do is to make some changes to this particular thing. On that one, I'm just going to look for it somewhere here, over here, and then I'm going to give it let me just put the image there. You can also put another image there. You can put anything there, any picture you wish for, you can put it there. So I'm going to put that image over there, just like that. So I'll right click, rasterize, and I'll right click and create a clipper mask in, and that'll be okay. Then I'll just try to transform it just like that for that. Okay, then I can have it just like this over there. You get that? Yes, there is manual working with Ludu Game. So there is Ludu Game. So you can have it just like that. And then the next thing again you have to do is to give out the guidelines, or that kind of the distance. So I'm going to right rectangular marquee tool. Then I'll come to custom shapes. On the custom shapes, I'm just going to look for that particular custom shapes over there. I think this one will be good. Then I'm just going to zoom my work over here. Then when I zoom out my work over there, I'll hold shift to draw something like this over there. You get that? And then when I draw that, I'm going to change the color to what, to black. Black will be okay. And then what I need to do is to just come to this side and then turn it that way, and then it will face at this place, and I'm going to do it a little bit bigger so that it can face up that side very well. Okay, this way, do it a little bigger, that'll be okay. Should be at the middle, that'll be okay. You get that? The next thing again I have to do is to duplicate that one too, and then that one too, I'll just move it, on that one too, I'll just move it to this side, just like that. So I think okay, this side will be okay, and then I'll just let it go this way, tilt it this way, just like that, and then I'll let it come somewhere here. That'll be okay. And then the next thing again I have to do is to duplicate that one too, and then I'll move it. Duplicate that one too. Then I'll move it to somewhere here. And then what I need to do over here is that I am just going to tilt it that way, and that'll be okay for me. If you want to make it so perfect, you can be using angles. You can be changing the angles over there to make it so nice for you. You get that? Yes. But for me, there is just a manual walk on. Yes, manual walk on. You can have it just that way, just this way. You get that? And then you can have it just like that, and then you can move it a little bit somewhere here, and that will be okay. So the next thing again I have to do is to come and pick another rectangular, custom shape tool over there too. And then what I need to do over here is that I am just going to draw up something like this, another one, and that one should also be what? It should take the black color, and then I'll have it just like that. And then over there, I'm just going to rotate it 90, and then this way. That'll be okay. So then I'll let it come somewhere here. Yes, I'll let it come somewhere here, and then I'll duplicate that one too. Control J, and then I'll place it somewhere here. Sorry, I'll just place that one somewhere here, and that'll be okay. So I'm going to copy it all, the two, and then I'll send it to this side, and then I'll rotate it 90 clockwise, and then I'll just place it nicely. Place it nicely, just like that. That'll be okay. And then I'll duplicate that one too, and then send it to this side, and then I'll rotate it 90 clockwise again, and that will be okay again over there. And then the next thing again I have to do is to do it to this side too. Then I'll rotate it 90 clockwise, and then I'll zoom out more. I'm just zooming out more to see what I'm doing, just like that, and that will be okay again, and that ends the problem. So as you can see, we have just come to the end of the tutorial, but what we need to do over here is that you can decide to write a name on this particular area and all that, or you may also decide to give it a background. So I'm just going to give a gradient background, and that particular gradient is not any background but any kind of good or nice background. This thing over there that will look nice for that particular area, and you can love it. So I'm just checking through to get any background for that. I don't want any political color. I don't want any kind of color that will contradict. So there is some that's going to check through any color, any kind of color. What kind of color? Let me see. Blue mix up with any color. Okay, this way is okay for me. Then I can have it just like that. That one is okay for me. And then what I need to do is that I'm just going to put maybe for instance I'm doing it for this particular my palace. Yes, so I'm just going to put that one there. Then I'll call this one Sobu Palace. Sobu Palace. That's my palace, Sobu Palace. Then I can have it just like that. And then I'm just going to increase my size a little bit so that it will take over here Sobu Palace. So anyone who is playing this game will know that this particular game, or see this, will know that this particular thing is from Sobu Palace. Yes, okay. So Sobu Palace, you can also put your names, and then on this particular names you can also put my name here, Abdurrahim Fataya, Abdurrahim and Fataya. And then over here you can put ABM Graphics, and over here you can put Abdurrahim and Fataya. No problem. You can put names there, you can put names here, you can put all names over there. And then when you have something like this, that is just the Ludu game that you have just designed. Yes, without any problem. So, and after this you can then print it on a blueprint, on a blue. You can print it on sticker, flexi, or blue black. You can also print it on those materials, and then you can start working on it with your tools and all that. Yes, thank you very much for watching. This is ABN Graphics, and have a nice day. Bye bye.